hour. When we listen and gain our knowledge and power, we turn to the no bullshit hour.
No bullshit.
God damn, it's been raining 2 hours. The whole fucking city's underwater again. I know. There's global warming and shit, but it's been raining 2 fucking hours. Lie to me. Poor Karen. Her giraffes. Her fur coats.
Let's just breaking this. No more bullshit.
Her pearls.
No more bullshit.
No bullshit.
She's definitely gonna go pearl diving for her fucking pearls. This is bullshit.
It is.
Karen, are you there, girl?
Is. Yes, this is, excuse my language, but this is bullshit. I can't even abbreviate this anymore, Charlie. We knew it was going to rain. The streets are flooded. I just had to come back from my sister's house. We've got a little more water in my garage and our basement. Like, this is crazy. There's been no updates or posts on social media from the city who touts social media as its means of communicating with residents. Nothing from the Great Lakes Water. Nothing. Absolutely. I had to turn around 3 or 4 times because I couldn't even go down a lot of the street. It's crazy. And what's going to happen tomorrow when it's supposed to rain 3 inches? Or do we do like the guy that they dragged out? I know this guy is not a spokesperson. He probably works for the Great Lakes Water Authority, and because he's a brown person, it's like, let's throw him out there. He said, "Oh, if your basement floods, call a plumber." Oh. What the fuck are people doing?
You mean what the fuck? Let me say it for you. What the fuck?
But Charlie, this is an election year, and this shows the presumptuousness on the part of this administration. We don't have to do anything. We got this sealed up. People are pissed, Charlie. You look, people on social media are showing pictures of their basements. They haven't finished cleaning up the first time.
So, Karen, I mean, you know, we keep talking. I got this bullshit line. This is the biggest storm in 1,500 years. 1,500. That was 3 weeks ago. Let me tell you how long ago 1,500 years was. That's 200 years before Allah revealed himself to Muhammad. Really? Who the fuck is measuring 1,500 years ago? All of a sudden, it's raining for 2 hours, and your fucking furs are underwater.
Well, they're in storage, but you're right, Charlie. The point is that this is, to me, and I hate to say this, but, you know, we keep talking about a lot of people in this city being priced out of staying here. This is another means of doing that. There are a lot of people in this city that don't have the means of paying, of cleaning, of repairing, of replacing structural damage, breathing in mold. I mean, it's like, what is going on? And we're talking infrastructure. We're talking about something that has been known. That was the whole purpose of this authority that was supposed to be able to make sure that there was cooperation in the Tri-County area and that everything worked. The electricity didn't go out the last time, and if it did, it obviously didn't. All this backup that they said they had today doesn't work either. The streets are flooded, Charlie. This is crazy. Like, what the hell? Do I go build an ark now? Where the hell is Noah?
Do you want me to come over?
No, Charlie, we got it. I'm just going back and forth from my sister's house. Because, you know, the last time we used the pump from our pond to pump the water out of the basement. So I ordered some extra pumps. I just took one over there to her, and we're just waiting. The rain has subsided, but everything is wet, you know, the garage. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Do you know why people listen to us?
Why?
Because they're with us or we're with them. And, you know, I told you so. We don't bullshit.
Yeah, this isn't cool, though, Charlie. This really, every time, and you know, I was kind of half tongue-in-cheek. I said, everybody in Detroit now is suffering from another PTSD, post-traumatic storm syndrome. Because now every time it rains, everybody's running to the basement. Everybody's checking everything. Is everything okay? Like, this is not a city. This is not a city that is, you know, coming back. This isn't a big city. This isn't a responsible city. This is bullshit.
And by the way, hey, Grosse Point, you know what? You're Detroit. Ultra Road does not stop water. Our good buddy, our good friend Ryan Romani from Fox 2, hosted a 9. Yeah, he's not almost in tears, but he's pissed because his basement's filling up again. It's been raining 2 hours.
Yep.
Fuck off. At least in Germany, right? Yeah. It was 6 inches a day for like 3 days. And there's no excuse. I'm pissed. All right, Karen, we might call you back a little bit later. I know you got to get to stuff, try
That's
to save
okay.
some
I
people.
got my phone on me. You guys can handle it. I'm sorry I'm going to miss it, but you're in good hands. I'm going to share it on my page in a second as soon as I can get tight. But do your thing, Charlie.
Beautiful. What a leader. In a time of flood and pestilence and human suffering, I think it's beautiful that you can take a precious moment out to get on social media.
Hey, that's how we communicate, Charlie, and that's how I know what's going on. That's how I know the city hasn't told people in the city anything.
Y'all better not listen to you people in power, man. Y'all better not piss off Karen Dumas. Everybody knows.
Well, I already tweeted and asked them. I said, hey, City of Detroit, Great Lakes Water Authority, we're waiting. We're waiting.
What's your Twitter handle?
At Karen Dumas.
Everybody listen, and if you can do it, do our brothers and sisters a favor. Retweet Karen's tweet. We want an answer. What are you going to do? It's going to rain even heavier.
It is. And thank you and Mark, guys, for offering to help. I certainly appreciate it.
Anything you need.
I appreciate it. Love you guys.
Love you
thank
too.
You.
Good luck.
Bye.
Say hey to Tim.
Bye-bye.
Fucking A. Okay, so listen, let's go live to Detroit Red, also on the east side of Detroit, sitting next to all the pile of shit, moldering garbage from the last flood of the last 1,500 years.
Still waiting for it to be picked up.
Red, are you there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. Charlie's sitting in front of a pile of trash, dressed like trash, potentially waiting to see if I'm going to drown or not in the next big flood of 1,500 years.
Hey,
I'll be back a little later on to report on this. Comedian Detroit Red, NBN News with Charlie LeDuff.
Fucking professional,
man.
look at that.
Yeah.
All right, listen.
I'm a little worried, though. He's wearing a trash bag, and all his trash is in a trash. Well, although they're never going to come by to pick it up.
Dude, that's called a migrant raincoat.
I know. I just don't want him to get thrown out with all the rest of the stuff he's sitting next to.
You know, when I crossed the border in the desert, and it's basically in March, it's winter, and so you slept in trash bags.
Yeah. Keeps you warm.
It didn't.
And dry.
It didn't.
But what
Everybody in the planet's suffering, right? Except the 1% and those that feed them, the ones that do the bidding. These douchebags in the positions of power that don't do anything for us. But I'll give Duggan some credit. He did grub up some money from FEMA. What about this time around? What do you think, Adolf? You think Sleepy Joe's going to send us some more?
A whole lot. It should. That's what friends are for. The good times, the bad times.
Yeah, the good times are the best times,
Listen,
and the bad times
Listen,
they fade away.
all this is politics. And to get the money, you got to have the connections in the White House. So,
They're going to do it twice in a row, Jason?
We'll find out.
Great answer. Wow. Hey, breaking news. Jason, are they going to send us more money? We'll find out. Okay, let me introduce him. This is Jason Rowe, as of 2 days ago, the former executive director of the Michigan Republican Party, here exclusively to let us know why the hell he ran from the Republicans, checked out. Adolf Mongo, also a political strategist, probably won more elections than Jason did.
He's older.
Well, you know what? I can, relate to him because I ran from the Democratic Party 30 years ago, but didn't run to the Republican Party. But the bottom line is, really, if you're going to be an independent, you got to be able to play both parties. There's no question about it. And right now, we don't have a Republican Party. If I was a member of a Republican Party 3, 4, 5 years ago before Donald Trump came into office, and I'm looking how it's evolving right now, I'll run from it too. There's no question that we don't have a two-party system anymore.
Hey, Jason, when are the Democrats going to shatter?
Oh, I think they're pretty shattered. It's just that they were united by Donald Trump. You had a coalition of people that united and created a majority against Donald Trump. I don't think the Democrats are in that much better shape than we are, other than they got the presidency and the majorities.
I'm looking forward to the day when we have four parties, when this thing naturally breaks up as it should.
Never gonna happen.
Going to happen. Go to Europe. That's where it happens.
Yeah, it seems to be working over there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Nah, it don't work there.
No,
No, it don't work there. You look at Israel, and they make strange bedfellows. You got
5 elections.
You got
in the last 2
the
years.
ultra orthodox in bed with the Arab Party and everybody else because they didn't like who was in power. So yeah,
Netanyahu, who's on trial for corruption.
Donald Trump of Israel.
All right, listen, here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about the voting restrictions. We're going to talk about why Jason left the party. We're going to talk about the floods. We're going to go back to Red. We're going to talk about crime. We're going to talk about Flint. We're going to talk about failed development in Detroit, and we're going to talk about 9/11. But before we do that, I'd like to remind you, as always, that the No Bullshit News Hour brought to you by American... Byron, what are you doing? Oh, let me introduce Byron.
See his face.
Well, let me introduce Byron. Byron Goggin is, I told you people, we're getting serious. Byron's in now, director of photography. Byron, a little resume here.
What up, bro?
Where'd you work? Where'd you work?
Oh, I've kind of worked all over the city. I spent many years, 10 years at WDIV, Channel 4, went to Fox Sports Net, was there for many years, then went to Discovery and National Geographic, traveled all over the world and did pretty cool stuff there, and now I'm back in Detroit. So,
And we're going to do some shit, aren't we?
we are going to do some shit.
So look, get your face close into that camera. Closer. And let these motherfuckers know that control the wheels and the gears of power were coming. Right close. Yeah, now it's going to get real. Now we're a news order. It's for real. I told you, folks. Thanks for your support. Whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, a socialist, I don't care. We got things in common. Nobody should be living in a moldy fucking basement.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you, and I feel bad for people whose basements are flooding right now. People in the Points and all these other places, and my good friend Karen Dumas. But where's the outrage of people that don't have water, that don't have lights and gas in the city? They haven't had it in several years.
I agree.
Nobody's crying over a lot of this stuff. You got people that's living. Oh man,
Third world, dude. Don't say it. But again, that is true, and I fight for that. But
all of a sudden,
but I'm not for printing a bunch of fucking money that we don't have. I'm just throwing it out there.
But Charlie, I ain't crying. Listen, folks in Grosse Pointe, they got what they wanted. They wanted to get rid of the Detroit water and sewer, and they got the Great Lakes Water Authority.
But let me stop you there.
They got it now.
But let me stop you there. But they're still, look, they divided it up. Oakland County, Macomb County, Wayne County, and Detroit, and Grosse Pointe gets to go with Detroit. You didn't get to do anything. All I know is all of our rates went up. All of us in the region send $50 million a year in rent.
That's what you wanted.
In rent.
You got it. You
to
got
Detroit
it.
to fix
You
their
got
stuff.
it. You
And
got
why
it.
is it not fixed?
You got it. You got the voice on the authority. You got this is what you got.
Okay, let me do this before we get into that. Listen, American Coney Island is Detroit's oldest family-run restaurant. Oldest family-run restaurant, also a victim of this shit. It's the birthplace of the Detroit Coney dog, chili, mustard, and Vidalia onions. Come support. It is really difficult to do business in the city, no matter what they're telling you. The little guy, she don't get no tax breaks. You get charged for the awning, for the sidewalk upkeep, for signage, for everything. They don't get no special deal. They're not plugged in. Support the people. Support the oldest business in Detroit. American Coney Island, at the corner of American, at Lafayette and Michigan Avenue. Right? Monday through Thursday, 11 to 3. Open to midnight Friday and Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sunday. Oh, by the way, give me an A. What the fuck are we doing with the shit in these? The narcoleptic's eating again. Can somebody give me an A? Give me an A! D! R!
R.
ADR, that's right. I'm glad you asked, man. It's pretty simple. Your shit's flooding. Your shit's flooding.
What do you do?
You can't find hot water tanks. You're a landlord. You know what I mean? How do you get something done when everybody's trying to get something done? You call ADR. They are the experts in construction, deconstruction, demo, rehab, navigating the serpentine warren that is called City Hall. You don't got to pay kickbacks. You just need somebody competent, and that would be Barry Ellentuck. Free consultation. Call him. You're going to need to call him. It's going to rain 3 inches tomorrow. Write it down and put it on your fridge way upstairs. You don't want it in the basement. 248-318-9424. Barry Ellentuck. He's ethical, honest, and smart. ADR Consultants.
All right.
All right, one more?
Yeah, now that I can talk.
All right. Give me hit it. Give me the music.
Oh, boy. Maybe I wasn't ready.
Fucking eating. That's Byron.
I'm supporting our...
We need to... Oh, Byron's eating.
I'm supporting our sponsor. That's right. Byron's eating, too. Strength in numbers.
Drive a man a drink. When it comes we got all kinds of crap here at American Coney Island.
An investment. There's only one.
Jason, go ahead and read that spot. Read it with some heart.
You ready?
Yeah.
Do I start with Nowacki or go right into the script?
Go right into the testimonial.
Overreaction is not the strategy
Cut.
for the long-term
Cut.
investor.
Cut. Overreaction's not a strategy. Just turn up that music. Feel the
They're the
music.
best in the business.
Overreaction is not the strategy for the long-term investor. Neither is burying your head in the sand and hoping it all turns out for the best. Call my friend, Luke Nowacki at Pinnacle Wealth, 248-663-4748, 248-663-4748. Rational financial advice. Inflation, interest rates, what's your move? Stocks, bonds? Do you move your 401k, your college savings plan? Is your company in the right investments? Is your pension funds meeting its projected return? Get advice, get strategy. Call Luke Nowacki at Pinnacle West, 248-663-4748. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Royal Alliance Associates Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC. FINRA SIPC. I don't know how you say that, how you do that.
It's pronounced Pinnacle.
I heard I said that the
In
first
wealth.
time.
Fucking rich white boys calling it Pinnacle. Where'd you go to school? Pinnacle, white boy.
The Harvard of Michigan, Western. Separately owned, and other entities and or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Royal Alliance Associates, Inc.
Thank you. Adolf, where'd you go to school, bro? College.
Nowhere, man.
Really? Where'd you go to college? Seriously, where'd you go?
Where did you go?
Dun 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 dun. Let's go, Blue! Look at those cheerleader moves.
Yeah, okay, that's where I went.
Yes, we did.
And I lived in Kalamazoo.
Yeah, until the cop told you to move the van.
Told me to move the van, huh?
All right, look, let's get into something, guys. First, look, I'm really confused, and I'm getting upset with the political discourse between these two parties. Let's do this. We're trying to figure out what we do with voter registration, right? From the pandemic, we had the greatest growth in decades, at least, of people voting. We changed, because of the pandemic, what we're doing. I believe we need to codify what we're doing. And yet, if I say that, all of a sudden I'm some kind of racist, right? Because the Texas Democrats are pretending. What would they do? They
fled. They left.
They refused to negotiate or vote on some bills that the Texas Republicans, the majority, are pushing. They should split.
Listen, by any means necessary. Listen, we went through this shit back after the Civil War, Reconstruction, when you had
talking points,
former slaves getting elected as senators, Congress, etc. And then the white supremacists in the South to get back to stop black people from voting. They enacted all these Jim Crow laws.
Yes, they did.
So we couldn't vote.
Yeah.
And then they had the nerve to come to Detroit in the early 1950s, the Un-American Activity Committee, when they had Coleman Young out there saying that he was a communist, socialist. And Coleman Young gave him a history lesson, told a congressman from Georgia, said, you know what? Your county is 80% black, and not one black person can vote.
So tighten this up. What's the argument here?
The argument is you shouldn't be in that seat because you stopping black people from voting.
Wait. Okay, it's point.
So the problem right now, all these laws right now,
you're getting excited.
All these laws, because Georgia elected 2 Democrats, the black folks came out to vote. And
Jason,
there's no question.
Are the Republicans trying to steal the vote from black people?
Yes.
No, and no. This is the hypercharged rhetoric and creating a proxy battle between the parties and frankly to inflame minority voters into believing that Republicans are trying to suppress the vote. And that's not the case. I've been doing this professionally for 30 years. I've never sat in one meeting in my life where I heard somebody talk about how can we suppress the vote. We spend all of our time trying to figure out how to convert voters into voting for us and turning them out. We spend time trying to figure out who our voters are, turning them out, not suppressing the vote. What we saw that I think triggered, some momentum on this is the COVID pandemic that Democratic secretaries of state in key states around the country used extra legal, if not illegal laws or policies on elections to benefit Democrats in this last election. I mean, for all the talk about election reform and what a lot of the Trump supporters are complaining about, if they would focus on where I think the real disadvantages came from for Republicans is what secretaries of state like Jocelyn Benson did. Sending out absentee ballots to everybody preemptively is not the way the system was ever designed to be. And in 2018, that didn't exist. And all of a sudden, we're doing that stuff.
Was there, host here.
Okay, host.
Was there mass fraud?
Was there mass fraud?
No.
Was there fraud?
Good.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go like this. The mass fraud, no. Let's see what Texas did. I had to look into it a little bit. I need to make a point. I need to make a point to move this shit before we go back to 1950 and Coleman Young. All right.
You don't want to hear the truth.
I am the truth.
You don't want to hear the truth.
I'm the truth.
You don't want to hear the truth.
Here's what Texas Republicans try to push through. Number one, speaking of those absentee ballot applications, they want it so that only the the government can't send those out. Political parties can send those out if they want to pay for it. Third parties can send those out if they want to pay for it, but the government may not. Can negotiate on that. 2, there would be time limits on early voting. They have that in Texas. You get to vote for 2 weeks. So they're like, okay, Monday through Sunday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. That's another one. Third one, and most importantly to me, well, there's also the drive-through.
The drive-through, yeah.
There's drive-through
that was
voting.
a problem in Texas.
I can't see the problem there. It's a negotiation point. If the machines are correct, why not do drive-through?
It's one more way to make it easier for people to vote, which is everybody should be able to vote as easy as possible.
And they should be able to vote on Sunday.
And twice.
Ain't no twice. You have a problem in Detroit where a lot of people don't vote.
Yes.
So for people to say, oh, people voting and illegal voting, listen, Georgia passed a law that says if you give somebody some water or food standing in line, they can get arrested.
That's a little ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, and that's something
Is
that's
it, Jason?
perverted
Bullshit.
for the electorate. It is.
Is
if
it though?
That's some bullshit.
No. If I take just a bottle of water with no one's name on it and hand it to you in line, that's not a problem.
Okay.
But if I put my sticker around it and says "Vote for Jason Rowe" and it's on a water bottle and I hand it to you, that's a
It's
problem.
political.
That's electioneering.
We cannot scream. People will not follow us.
You can't electioneer.
You can within 200 feet of the polling place give out political material.
Black people are not going to vote for Republicans anyway. Not
that's
the way
neither
they
here nor
say.
there.
So you don't have to put a Democrat name on a bottle.
That's the rules.
They're not
they're
going to vote.
And acting like
they're not
handing
vote.
someone a bottle of water is what
Jim
they're trying
Crow
to
is here. The grandkids of Jim Crow. Listen, DeSantis and all these other asshole white supremacist governors. They're alive and doing well in America.
Now let me do this. I don't know. Here's what. Okay, another thing Texas wants to do is a monthly sweep of the voter rolls to check for citizenship. Am I?
It's kind of in the Constitution.
Am I a bigot for like kind of agreeing with maybe a person that's not a citizen shouldn't be registered to vote? I don't think I am.
No problem with that.
Okay, here's the big one, I think. Voter ID. Okay, voter ID. Hear me out. Texas is saying if you ask for an absentee ballot, you must give either your driver's license number, your state ID number, or the last 4 digits of your Social Security, which every child now gets at birth. I don't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Nah, but I do have a problem when you got an asshole that says if your signature is not the way it was 5 years ago.
I think the signature thing should go away.
That's a fucking
Right? You
piece
agree
of
too,
garbage.
Jason? Jason agrees. Yeah. I believe. What's that? I like that.
Adolf's ringtone.
Oh,
That's not mine.
It's not yours? Oh, okay.
that was you.
It was me. Oh,
Yeah, but the bottom line is
Let me do this bottom line.
okay.
Bottom
leader.
line.
You're the leader.
Yeah, bottom line.
Come on, leader.
I did some checking. Okay, I believe that, yes, you should put the last 4 digits on the ballot since you no longer have to appear in person anywhere. Let me tell you what I did. I used to live in L.A., so I checked L.A. County to see if I'm still registered to vote. I went online, Secretary of State. Guess what they require for me to check my own validity? My name, my birth date, my zip code, my driver's license or state ID number, and the last 4 digits of my Social Security number. Number 2, I went on Michigan's website to see what it took to register to vote online. I took a hypothetical guy, Mike Hunt. Michael Hunt. Mike Hunt.
it's a great guy.
Yeah, Mike Hunt.
Everybody loves him.
I put in Mike Hunt. I put in my birthday. I put in my zip code. Then they asked for a driver's license number. I put in my driver's license number. No, we also need the last 4 digits of your social. So I took out the driver's license number and put in my social. And it says you got to fill them both out. My point being, we already do this. We already do this. I refuse to be divided. Let's just lock the system down, make it tight. We already did it in Michigan. You can ask for any reason to vote absentee.
Where the voter fraud at?
I don't see it.
Where the voter fraud?
Jason, where the voter
No,
fraud?
but here's the issue. The
Listen,
voter
where's the voter
fraud
fraud?
is anecdotal. It's
Anecdotal.
It's not. Listen, Trump
I
didn't
don't even
lose.
know what that means.
Well, let hear him out.
Listen,
You've
you've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this a long time. I have seen fraud here and there. I have not seen the systemic fraud that people are talking about. Here's the larger issue. You got nearly half the people in this state who do not trust the integrity of the election system in this state. Now, have you all enjoyed the controversy since November 2020 and all this litigating and fighting over the election? Is anybody enjoying that?
No.
Do we want to do this every 2 years? Then let's make sure that people continue to not trust the integrity of the system. It doesn't matter who those 45% of the electorate are that don't trust the system, and it doesn't matter why they feel that way. But every close election is going to be a controversial election if we don't reassure people that their vote will count and that the system is not corrupt.
What's it
You know
going
who
to take?
you sound like? Read your history book. You sound
there's
like
nothing wrong with what he said.
No, when they say people don't trust it, this is what we heard after the Civil War.
Yeah.
This is why
no,
Jim
no,
Crow was enacted.
Don't start pulling back to this. This is
folks,
polling.
Because white
This
folks
is
in the
polling.
South, saying that black folks, we got to stop them from voting.
Well, I know the Democrats in the South in that era did do that.
Here's a woman that didn't know she couldn't vote because she'd been incarcerated before. Got 5 years. She stood in line. That 5 years. 5 years in Texas. So this is what they do. See, now, and then in Florida, where they
That's
just
an
passed,
anecdote, right?
Wait a minute. But in
It's all
Florida, where they
anecdotal.
passed the law that says...
Adolf, do not
Listen.
hijack this program.
Now,
Just
listen,
pour
I ain't
another drink.
hijacking. You invited me here.
I know I did.
When you invite Dracula into your house, you get bit. Shit, so I'm biting your ass. Shit. That's what you want.
That is that. Now, let me say. Here's the thing. Every anecdotal complaint has been looked at. The Republican Party of Michigan, we had him on last week, Ed McBroom, looked into dead people voting, hacked the machine, found nothing. What's this going to take? Here's what I would say. Oh, forensic audit. Nobody knows what the fuck a forensic audit is. Here's what I would do. The last thing I would do, I've told the Secretary of State this is what you should do. Take every 20,000th vote, okay? Every 20,000th vote. Pull it, that'd be about 300. 3 for every county in Michigan. Check to see if they're dead on the Social Security, death list. Check to see if they moved to another state on the National Registry of Change of Address, and check with the other DMVs. Just do a wide random search, and then we'll see if dead people...
do what they used to do.
Why not do that?
When you didn't vote, when I was growing up, when you didn't vote, they purged you off the roll.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
They did.
Yes, they did.
You're not an active voter.
Yes, they did. They used to purge you.
Then tell me how people who died in 1978 are still on the fucking rolls.
Well, they changed the laws, Charlie. They used to purge.
You guys agree on something?
They used to purge you off the rolls. If you didn't vote in 2 elections or 3 elections, they purged you. You had to go re-register.
That's accurate.
I got to give Jocelyn Benson some credit, because anybody out there listening can go to the Secretary of State's website, ask for the latest list of the purge, and there's 177,000.
And there been people.
That's a good job.
And there been people that's been kicking the clerk's ass in Detroit. They're saying purge all these folks out, because for a long time, the city clerks from Jackie Curry, James Bradley, and now who we got in there, Janice Winfrey, always said we got 700,000 people register to vote. Whatever. You know what? Stop purging the rolls. Because at this point, all these people not voting, and you got
this is exactly right. We all agree.
And I agree.
That these roads, these roads got to be cleaned up.
Yes,
right.
Okay.
Isn't that? I think we all agree with that.
Yeah, but when you got folks like Ted Cruz and Rubio and all these assholes,
You know, he ran Rubio's campaign.
Yeah,
I didn't run it. I didn't run it.
You didn't run it. What'd you do?
Spokesman.
Listen,
pretty fun.
I remember.
Rubio,
come on, Adolf. Listen, I got a story here.
Rubio is the only fucker that got a parking space at a mall, a strip mall.
I'm going to tell you about
Rubio. He
Rubio.
want people to park in his space, and he never there.
And you know what?
Florida.
I was going to the Republican national debates at the Reagan Library. I mean, you got to take the bus up there, and it was me and Matt Phillips from Fox, right? And we got it good. We're doing good. We're doing the wall. We're already done. I love doing these goat fucks where we're already done, and you got to watch all the monkeys from the media tap these keyboards, right? Like they're trying to get banana chip. And there's a woman from ABC. I go, yeah, what have you been doing? She goes, covering Rubio. I go, oh, I'm sorry. God, what a wet noodle, bro. You can say it now.
No, I like Marco.
Do you like his sugar daddy car salesman guy?
We all got to have donors.
Listen. Why did you leave the Republican Party this week?
I did not leave the Republican Party. I left.
Why did you quit your position as the executive director, the big swinging dong of the Republican Party?
Well,
this week.
Let me clear my throat. As I've said to the other media outlets, the reasons will stay between me and the chairman, but suffice to say, I wanted to go a different direction than maybe the party's going.
What do you mean? Because here's the deal.
Your choice or the party's choice?
Right. My choice.
His choice. Yeah. But the activists, 500 delegates, signed a...
That's not... I mean, first of all, there weren't even 500 delegates. There was 500 names, and some of them we looked through. I mean, I think my name was on the list. People were just throwing names in there. That whole effort was not actually a very serious effort, nothing anybody really took seriously. In this age...
they wanted you gone, though.
Some
grassroots wanted you gone. Why?
Because in 2020, after the election, and an interview I did with Politico, I pointed out what a shitty campaign Donald Trump ran. I mean, that's just as a political professional looking at a campaign. He ran a shitty campaign. And the idea that that the election was stolen basically gives him a pass on running a shitty campaign. The election wasn't stolen. Yes, secretaries of state changed the rules to benefit Democratic voters, and you could certainly say that that contributed to a quote-unquote stealing, but it wasn't ballot box stuffing. It wasn't Dominion voting machines. Donald Trump, until 2 weeks out, ran a shitty campaign. And so me saying that apparently was not what people want to hear. I mean, some people just think Donald Trump can't do anything wrong. And he ran a shitty campaign. I stand by that.
Jason, can I ask you, so wouldn't maybe accepting election results do more to confirm to the electorate that our elections are okay as opposed to passing laws? Like
Yeah.
what you just said?
Yeah, of course.
Well, then why pass the laws? Why doesn't leadership on both sides, because we've seen it before, where people don't want to admit they lost?
Listen, I think what happened is a lot of party leaders allowed what Donald Trump was doing in the days after the election to continue for too long. I think they thought, okay, we're going to play along on this thing and it's going to work itself out. In a week or so, it'll all die down. And instead, all it did was give it oxygen, and it actually grew as a conspiracy theory. And, you know, you got a lot of people, like you take TCF Center. You had people working at the polls in the TCF Center that weren't well trained. It's not like a bunch of civic leaders stepped forward and said, hey, I'm going to go work on the elections. And then you had a lot of activists that were down there to be poll watchers that weren't trained properly. So you had on both
How do you
sides
know?
of the table people that weren't prepared, weren't
How do
trained
you know?
correctly.
That's bullshit.
I was there.
Bullshit. And I listen,
How
I've
is
been
that
coming
bullshit?
there. That's bullshit. People been doing elections here in Detroit. Y'all, listen.
You're telling me every single person there has been doing elections every cycle. It's a bunch of
listen, you
civically
gotta-
engaged people, or
listen.
were there people paid to staff that thing who weren't normally involved in that process?
No, listen,
And then
let
on
me
the other
tell you,
side,
I
you got
was
a bunch
there.
of activists
I
there
was
as
there.
observers.
I would tell you what we were saying.
Trump wasn't
I would tell you what we were saying.
votes out of
It was
that.
called the second stimulus check. Yeah, they pay $600 a shift. Yeah,
what they
we
do.
did. We did that for money and civic pride. There was a lot of pride going on. Was the training good? Absolutely not. I fucked up. It wasn't. Were the poll watchers trained? They were not. But all in all, did we manage it pretty well? Should we be proud?
And see,
absolutely.
My point is, you got people on both sides of the table that I don't think were well trained. And so when there were questions where observers didn't understand necessarily what they were seeing, and when they asked questions to people working the polls that weren't necessarily trained to respond, you got confusion, and then you get conspiracy
because
theories that grow out of that.
you didn't train your poll workers. I watched them.
The previous
it wasn't
party
my
did not.
job as the worker to explain to a dude coming down here to do the fix is in, because remember, Trump was saying the fix was in back in July. It's not my job to sit here and tutor you, dude. I thought you were trained. The Republicans did a shitty job.
I agree.
And the Republicans thought they can come down here in Detroit and intimidate people.
Oh, you know what? That's the other thing.
Right.
Like, nobody's saying it.
Right.
There exists the white suburbanite.
They think they can come
Black
down here
urbanite.
and just intimidate folks.
This was old shit going on, man. There was some old shit going on.
Listen,
We got to
Donald
get
Trump-
together.
Donald Trump handed the election to the Democratic Party. If the motherfucker would have just went and did what he needed to do with the COVID-19 and acted like a president, he'd have won this shit.
I think that was my point.
There's no question.
Think that's my point.
There's no question.
Okay,
This asshole, while in secret, was getting a shot and pretending that, oh, it's like the flu. If he'd have been presidential, if he'd have said this is some crazy shit and we gotta beat it, he would listen. It's hard to beat an incumbent. An incumbent
I think
president.
that's what I said.
You had that. We go back to Jimmy Carter, where he just fucked up with Iran when they took over the embassy. But at this point, Donald Trump just handed it to Joe Biden. Joe Biden was dead in the water.
Is Joe Biden?
I think Adolf and I agree.
Yeah, I know exactly, but it's an entertaining way to get there, right? Joe Biden's demented. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Joe, but the bottom line
is he?
But the bottom
I'm asking
line,
a question.
Demented or has dementia?
Does he have dementia?
don't matter. He's the president. Reagan had
matters.
dementia.
I like to watch TV.
Wait a minute. Reagan had, he didn't know what was going on the last 3 years. As long as you got people around him to take care of him.
That's reassuring.
That's
At least he had
bottom line.
5 years that he knew what he was doing before he did.
Oh, Reagan? No,
Biden starts out not
All
knowing.
right, hey, wait. I want to.
Reagan was an actor.
Listen.
That's all you did. Give him a script, and he could read it.
All right, listen here, man. Before we go to Red out there on the curb, I want to thank David Hall Mortgage for supporting the show. If you want to sell your house, Red, If you want to refinance this thing to pay for some flood damage, you go to David Hall Mortgage. They're the best in the business. They're the quickest in the business. Man, inflation's going up. They're talking about raising rates, folks. Now's the time to act. Go to davidhallmortgage.com or call this one. It's easy. 248-308. See, that rhymes. 248-308-5000. Right? That's 248-308-5000. Make sure you tell them we sent you. They're going to treat you good anyway, but they're going to teach you extra special because the No Bullshit News Hour family
Exactly.
is friends of the David
Very
Hall.
fast.
Yes, they are. What? What you want? You want to read one?
No.
Oh, you want beer?
Yeah.
Or you want a Coney dog?
Take a beer.
Okay.
Hey,
Bud Light?
Yes.
Before you go back to the floods, and I know that's your big story, what about your boy?
What boy?
Your boy that's running for governor.
Oh, we're going to get James Craig? Oh, we're going to get to that.
Little man Tate.
I got a feeling we're gonna find out who actually discovered this guy. I got a feeling it might be Jason, but don't tell him until I get around to asking him.
You discovered it.
I've been busting that guy's balls for 8 years.
The only person I know when he came in town, he saw somebody, the coward of the county. He ran. He thought he was gonna be hijacked.
Well, that's what I'm saying, folks. Keep it here. It's real. It's live. We're connected, and only here can we give you a good estimation of Whitmer and Craig. That's all. It's good. It's here. But before we go further, hey Red, live to Red out there in the flood zone. Red, can you hear me, brother?
I think he's muted.
I think he's fishing.
Hey, you found Red from the comedy kitchen, didn't you?
He's got his fishing pole.
Hold on. I think I got a big one coming in. I just got an 8-ground pine across the street, trying to see if I can catch something. What up, though? Oh, nothing but some of the neighbors' garbage from down the street that ain't been picked up yet. So listen here, if you're sitting there wondering why I'm sitting out here in the next great flood of 1,500 years in front of a pile of trash, basically it boils down to this. They ain't picked this shit up from the last flood. Okay? They done took pictures. They done been through here acting like they're looking at the drain, but I still got a heap of contaminated flood basement trash in front of my goddamn house. So Biden done sent some money here. Mayor Doodoo, let's get off your ass and distribute it so they can come get this contaminated garbage. And I don't feel like just sitting out here chilling looking like garbage.
Well, how's the neighborhood now, man? How's it holding up? I mean, it rained a little bit.
Look here. Before y'all came back to me, I just caught a smallmouth bass across the street. Okay, at the corner it's so flooded, we're getting extra traffic on this street because the streets on either side have flooded to a point people are worried about their cars drowning and stalling out.
Oh, man.
My drawers is soaked right now.
That's because you're sitting in the rain in a garbage bag, dude.
I'm going to stay here until FEMA come get this shit, okay?
See you next Tuesday.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And fish.
I wouldn't wait for it, Red. So, look, there's a bunch of shit behind you. What'd you lose?
Oh, man, washer, dryer, a bunch of sentimental value things, some antiques, all kind of shit, man. Our basement is pretty much our storage. Like a lot of people. You keep heirlooms, keepsakes, stuff you're not using. So we lost a lot of different stuff. Luggage. I got Samsonite luggage, speaker, stereo equipment. We lost a lot of stuff. And if this keeps up, I'm afraid I'm about to lose the new washer and dryer I had to go replace. And
you're not a rich man.
At all. You don't know how much undercover GoFundMe I had to do to get this washer and dryer. And I want to say this, too. For anybody watching this out of state and thinking, well, why don't you guys have flood insurance in Detroit? Well, that's because when you call for homeowners insurance in Detroit, they basically tell you you don't need flood insurance because we ain't supposed to be freaking flooding.
How much is homeowners insurance, just regular in Detroit, just for the nice, modest home that you own there? What's your yearly insurance?
That would have to be a question I give to my CPA, aka my wife. She handles all of that, but I'll get back to you with that. It ain't cheap.
It's more than $5,000. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Fucking A, man. Okay, and you live pretty close to that pumping station.
Yes, actually, the pumping station ain't more than a half a mile up the road. Even though with the streets looking the way they do right now, you would think it's in the country some goddamn where.
Well, kind of. You know, I mean, you live in the middle of the city. It is country. It's kind of country.
No exaggeration. Where I'm sitting at right now, if it rains like this another 10 minutes, the water will officially be over here on my side of the street. And the whole street will be covered from this side to the next.
Anybody got a question for this? It breaks my heart. These are my friends. These are my friends.
These are the people on the front line. How you doing, Red?
What's up, Mongo? Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, man. I see you on got with this crazy ass person.
Yes, and I've enjoyed every minute. I can't even lie.
No
I get to do shit like sit in the rain and stand in the snow and report on the city not doing their fucking job.
Ain't no question. But you know what? These are the folks that keep electing some of these people, and you know, and you try to talk to folks and say this is who you need to look at or not look at, and they don't. So and then they say I don't vote. That's why I don't understand the Republicans trying to suppress the vote, because there's a whole lot of fuckers ain't voting. And then when you say, why don't you go out and vote and elect somebody or run for office? And they say, it don't matter. But then when you get crises like this, it does matter. You got to have somebody that's going to stand up and fight for you.
Hey, Red, are you going to leave you're a Democrat. You pulled the lever. Are you leaving? Are you leaving the Democratic Party?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm done with both parties. You got to prove to me to be the man or woman to do the job. All that bullshit, side round the back door talking and fancy words. I'm done with all of it.
Where you going? Where you going? What you gonna do?
I'm gonna examine every candidate in every election I participate to the fullest and make my decision at that moment based on my research.
And you don't mind throwing your vote away. You know what I mean? Because like the independent candidates don't have, right, Jason? Everything's about money. It's money, right?
I agree with what y'all said.
Wait a minute, Red. Jason don't want to answer that.
I mean, listen, policy is money. I mean, whether it's legitimate or illegitimate, the policies we make got money behind them. That's how we decide how we spend money, is the policies.
That's how we get fucked. Wait, I got to translate. That's why we get fucked. Mm-hmm. We don't have the money. The big boys have the money. They do what the big boys want. And then every 4 years they come around pandering because they know something.
But
here's what the big boy doesn't have. He only got one vote, just like me, and they spend billions, don't they, gentlemen, to fuck my mind up.
But they've been doing it for 300 years.
I know.
Yeah, listen, it's all about money. Davy Crockett didn't have any money to buy drinks in a fucking tavern.
And you know what happened to Davy Crockett?
He didn't get reelected as a congressman, and he went to Texas, and we know what happened. Shit, it's all about money. It's been about money. It's it.
I want to say something as an individual who's really suffering the side effects of the big money boys playing games. Maybe y'all should stop thinking about so much goddamn money and really concentrate on the people. And if the policies ain't working for the people, then a dime ain't worth a fucking penny. I'm just sorry. Excuse my French.
But it's still about the money. But it's still about the money.
It's incredible.
It's still about the money.
He learned French. It's incredible. You go say something, Jason.
Well, you got to pause.
Wait, Jason.
Neighborhood.
I know.
You got Red out there. Red understand what's going on. I've been knowing Red a long time. Good to see you, brother.
But watch this, Red. Watch this. Red's out there fishing for smallmouth bass. I'm not sure what her name is over there. But we're in Ferndale in the basement. I'm dry as a snug in the bug in a rug. It ain't leaking down here.
What I was going to say is, listen, Detroit is fucked up. I went to Rwanda 4 years ago. What did they have? A civil war 30 years ago? 30 years ago?
Yes.
The infrastructure in Rwanda is better in Detroit. We're the most powerful, richest nation in the world, and this was once one of the greatest cities in the world, and this place is a fucking disaster.
No,
I go to somewhere.
No.
I'm talking
He don't mean the people.
Infrastructure.
Well, what you saying to people?
I know.
You're talking about
we're
the
trying to get him
infrastructure
clear,
being
aren't we?
fucked
Before he gets himself in trouble.
Because you saying this shit.
The
and
infrastructure
Rwanda-
here.
No, but he's saying something about like
Infrastructure.
what we consider third world. We're not taking care of our own people. Who, by the way, see my
And you
my-
know
see
why?
my brother here?
And you know why it's fucked up?
Tell me.
Because those in power, when they decided they wanted to abandon this place, they abandoned it and left it. And now they want to come back. Well, the Negroes had Detroit for 40 years and they didn't do shit. General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford. You need to blame those motherfuckers.
Disinvestment.
I'm sorry, I don't remember blaming anybody. I was
Yes,
starting
you
to
did.
make a point
You said
that
this a third
as soon
world.
as you got
I
triggered.
live in a fucking third world.
No.
Fuck
Why don't you let me
Rwanda.
finish something?
The Tutsis didn't kill me or whatever.
That's what
The
I'm looking
fuck-
for.
Shit.
We're sitting here
I know it don't make any sense, but
the
goddamn,
fucking-
that's entertaining.
So the Belgians had.
They're underwater today.
So the Belgians, they had a better infrastructure system, yet they killed 1 million motherfuckers in Rwanda. So you can have a best.
No, they get to enjoy.
I don't even know where the fuck this conversation's going.
Well,
It's
you
not
the one
point
brought
that
up
I'm making.
Rwanda.
I got the point.
Because
No,
I'm trying to make a point
everybody gets the
about
point.
the
Don't make a point.
infrastructure.
Don't make a point with blood.
I'm not making a point with blood. I'm
Don't
trying to make a point
with
that
blood.
we got a country that went through a civil war 30 years ago that has better infrastructure than the city of Detroit in the most powerful country in the
Okay.
world. That's the point that I was making. So rather than getting triggered and trying to drag this
Because
into
you-
something,
hey, watch-
I ain't trying to talk
No,
about.
watch the triggers. This is beautiful. It's actually because the trigger's there. What you're saying is true. What he's saying is true. It's the way we talk to each other. What we're really doing down here is like we all agree. Too many of our people. See, he's sitting there. There's my brother Red. He's suffering. We all agree, and we're getting caught up in things we've been taught, and it's fair.
So
It's fair. It's
So the infrastructure, you build a highway system on the back of black folks in this
Okay.
in this city.
Red's
where
out
you
there.
when you kill all the businesses and every fucking thing
point
else.
made. Point made.
Right.
Red, go ahead.
I want to say this to what Jason is trying to say as a Detroiter who's been here through it all. When the Democrats run it, Republicans and had their hand in it. I've been here through all of it. The bankruptcy, the schools. And if you see that Detroit is fucked up as a Republican, and you sit here and said earlier, y'all look for ways to get people to come to your party, then don't sit way up there and just say Detroit fucked up. Put y'all hands in it down here. That's what I want. I don't want no politicians.
You hear what?
I
Wait,
want people
hold up.
that's gonna get their hands dirty.
You know what Red
And
just
that's
said?
me
Oh,
speaking as a voter.
you could take Detroit, and we'll get to James Craig now. You can take Detroit if you know what's going on in Detroit and you got a solution for it. Detroit will come. Oh, they'll come. They'll come. We're all of us. We're dying out here.
Well, they Republicans.
I believe half that fucking leader's gone.
Yeah, well, the Republicans think that James Craig is the second coming of Jesus or Moses. This motherfucker, listen, ain't gonna get 3 votes. He might get more votes than Trump, but he need to look at Bill Lucas. When Bill Lucas, who was a politician, who was
Keep
a
going back to the
Democrat,
70s, bro.
Well, if you don't
There are
remember your
no
past,
parallels between James
Yes, it
Craig
is.
and Bill Lucas.
But
Zero
James
parallels.
Craig
Hey!
James Craig
parallel.
is a minstrel.
Let me see.
It's a fucking minstrel.
Oh.
And you know what? A prop. You gonna take this motherfucker where he's scared even to drive through the city of Detroit? You think
He's the
this
chief
guy,
of police. What do you mean, afraid to drive?
Listen, the fucking chief of police. He can dish it out, but he can't take
Okay,
it.
let's do this.
He's not gonna.
Wait.
win
You
shit.
can't. Wait, look. That's going to be.
He's going to be the.
You got stop it.
He's a fucking. He's a fucking Indian. He's a fucking.
Give me this fucking mic.
You invited
Give me the
me here.
Give me. Oh.
You invited me here.
I know. Sit down,
You
please,
invited
sir.
me here.
Sir, let me set it up at least. We got some video
Of James Craig.
Well, here's what we have.
What did you do, man?
I spilled the vodka.
Well, you need to,
Your vodka.
That's not.
I know
my
you're
vodka.
looking at it like a cat to the
give me your
fucking
glass.
saucer. Like,
your
should I
glass.
lick it up? Okay, listen.
Go ahead.
I gotta drive home.
You're drinking
Let me
Bud Light.
call the police on him. Went to Ferndale police.
Right here, brother.
Soaked in vodka. I'm flammable now.
A shout out to the Ferndale police, by the way. Good dudes. So, how did the Republican Party find and recruit Chief James Craig?
Somebody reached out to us and said that, would we think he'd be a great candidate? And I didn't even know what his politics were. And my question was, is he a Republican? They went back to him. He said he was, and he was interested in having a conversation. So we met with him. And a few days later, he announced his retirement, and the speculation began.
So, did you meet with him?
I did.
Talk to him about it?
I did.
So, I know there are parameters here, and the party can't get involved, but you, as the executive director, found him to be an attractive candidate, and
Yes, very much.
there's breaking news right there, bro. Hit that. I didn't know that. Hit that. Do you think that he's viable in Detroit?
I do. Man, listen, Donald Trump got 5% of the vote there, right? If Chief Craig could get a floor of 15, there is no math that the Democrats, the rest of the state, can win. Just can't.
The
15%,
polls show 15.
better.
The polls show 15, and he hasn't even announced.
We've done a couple internal polls, and one of our internal polls had him at 25% in the city of Detroit.
Adolph, your turn.
Never gonna happen.
Okay.
It's never gonna happen. Listen,
You want to put any money on this?
Hold on, I ain't got no money to put on James Craig. James Craig remind me of what they used to do when they chased Native Americans in the West. They went and got us. They went and got other Native Americans to track down the Sioux. They got the Cheyenne to track down the Sioux. So they got their Negro.
You got no.
They got their Negro.
I must stop
they
you.
Had their Negro.
No.
They had their
Incorrect.
Negro.
Every
He's
single
a
thing comes
Negro.
back to some kind of race thing.
It is a race
It is
thing.
not.
Yes, it is. You don't wake up saying you're a white man. I wake up every fucking day saying I'm a black man.
I look in the mirror and I happen to notice I'm a white man.
No, you don't.
But why? I'm
No,
sorry.
you don't.
What is the
Because
problem with a black
because-
candidate? Why wouldn't we want to
Because he's
have both
self-hatred.
parties
He's
representing
self-hatred.
the black community, the Latino
You got
community, the white
you got
community,
white
the Asian
supremacists.
community?
You got white
Hey,
supremacists.
oh.
Thrown around,
You got white
you're thrown
supremacists.
around hollow rhetoric.
Hey, hey ho, hey ho, peace and love. Hey, hey. By the way, I'm just gonna go in the corner and talk to everybody over here. It's fight night. It's fight night over there. There we go. Okay.
Listen.
Wearing a
White
polo
fucking
shirt
supremacists.
in this
Y'all
corner.
don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
James
Hey,
Craig
listen.
is a fucking Uncle Tom.
Okay.
He's a fucking Uncle Tom.
Okay,
James Craig, if you listening to
Hey,
me,
hey, drop his
you
mic a
little
second.
motherfucker.
Drop his mic a
you
second.
ain't gonna
Okay.
win.
No one can hear you now.
that's what you
Okay,
want.
let me just get something straight. The Sioux and the Cheyenne were allies. It was the Crow that worked with General. So don't come on this show dropping bullshit news.
Okay,
Know
fine.
your history.
Okay, you got the
Okay.
Crow. Was they black?
Take a
Call
breath.
him Crow, huh?
Well, there was also the Blackfoot. So if that's what you're getting
That's what
at,
I'm getting at.
okay.
Okay,
Now,
but they
would
use
you
Native
stop
Americans. You invited me.
I know, but I come on your radio show. I ain't screaming all over the fucking place.
Yes, you do.
I'm trying to get to a bit
Yes, you
here.
do. You come on,
trying
you
to
come
get
on
to
the
a
show.
bit.
You come on the
All
show
right.
and you do all
Here's the
talking.
thing. Here's the thing.
Shit.
Real quick.
Go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
Whitmer, what do you make of that one?
Hey, well, y'all elected Whitman.
No, what do you make of that one?
Fix the shit.
It's gonna be a barn
What's
burn.
Big Gretch done for Detroit?
Hey, listen, I don't
What's
give
What's
a
Duggan
fuck.
done for Detroit?
Just answer his question.
What
Yeah, I
they
mean,
done?
listen, we got your white Democrats that control the city and the state. What have they done for Detroit?
What did the Republicans done for
Well,
anybody?
because you can't
black?
answer that question,
Well, what
so we're going to
doing
deflect
all
to
right?
something else. You're
Listen,
sitting here
I
telling me
like-
about
listen,
the possibility
listen,
of this candidate, but you
Duggan,
can't
and
even
I
say
like
me one
Whitmer.
thing, that the Democrats that control this city and this state ain't done jack shit for Detroit.
Well, you know what?
You know it because you're deflecting and you're moving on to
he
something
already
else.
he tells the truth. He already said that earlier.
Let me say, God damn, you don't listen. But you
have that in common today.
But the white supremacists.
Oh,
What do the white supremacists have to do with this?
Because that's what they all got to do with this. You got your
I'd like to meet these so-called white supremacists. That
Oh,
seem
you
to
see
be
them every
spending so
day.
much time.
They your best friends.
Stop.
have
I
drinks with
got to
them.
get to this. I got to
have
get to
drinks
I
with
got to
them.
get to this. I got to get to this. I got to get to this. I got to get to this. Okay.
Nonsense.
Now we go like this. Okay, guys.
Little Black Sambo.
Jesus.
Okay, now look. It's really good stuff. It's really good stuff. Good analysis. I know Whitmer, she's going to have to answer here for the nursing homes. There's a big investigation going on. I got a feeling, I got it on some background through the channels that maybe the Auditor General is going to look at every death in Michigan through the pandemic. We'll wait to see how that plays. Now, James Craig on the other side has to answer for his record as police chief. What did crime actually do? So if we
Out of control.
I think we lost Red, but there was another mass shooting in his neighborhood. Six-banger. A guy in his wheelchair died in his wheelchair. 6 years earlier, 6 people were shot, 1 was killed. 2 years earlier, their license was taken from doing business. This is all in the era of James Craig. How is this allowed to happen? Now, remember the drifting and the burning and the donuts and the stolen cars and shit? This is what happened July 6th at the corner of 7 Mile and Evergreen. Do we have it? There's a big giant ring of gasoline burning in the middle of the intersection. People fucking doing donuts, people standing in it. Look at crazy shit, guys on the roof. This is a major intersection. Apparently they're doing it because somebody died, and this is what the hot rodders do, right? Where's the police?
Ain't no police.
There ain't no police. They cannot lie to me about it. Now, here's what happens when the fire department is called to put the fire out. Here comes the ladder truck to put out the gasoline burning. Pulls up on the scene. Thousands of people in the street. They jumping all over the rig. They're jumping all over the rig. If you remember from this show, we told you about a year ago, fire showed up to a murder scene. The fucking murderer's still there. They're calling for cops. They're pinned down and no fucking police show up. Look at this shit. Guys crawling all over the rigs. What do you expect the firefighters to do? Get out there and throw them off?
Nope.
No. Look at the thousands of people in the street. Where are the police? Are the police afraid of the people? Do we not have enough police? This, my brothers, is unacceptable. So remember, the chief of police retired just 6 weeks ago. This didn't pop up 2 weeks ago.
Oh, he's the greatest motherfucker to ever.
So
been.
they both, Jason, would you agree? They both got a lot of answering to do about the job they did, the statistics they're pushing. I believe this is going to be a barn burner.
Can I ask you say one thing?
Yes.
That story about him bankruptcy.
Nothing.
Bullshit.
Exactly.
You know what? So that's no big deal.
You know what that says to me? Let me do this though. Political analyst guys. He's not even a candidate yet. They're dropping the opposition research, which is he had a bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Which is a restructuring. He actually paid the money back. What does this say about?
They coming at him.
Yeah, but did they really got anything, Jason?
Yes, they do. Cause I got a whole portfolio.
Go on, Jason.
Shit.
It
Jason
says-
don't have it. He
It says
might have it.
It says 2 things. One,
Shit.
that they're scared of him because they're trying to blow him up. And 2, they're fucking terrible at their job because they did it before he even announced. So now it's out there. So now he goes announces whenever he does in the next few weeks, and it's not part of the story because it's already out there. If they had any sense and knew what they were doing, they would wait for him to announce. They would either drop it a day or two later to shit all over his announcement, or wait 2 weeks and try to
And they would
stop
also
it.
wait for him
But
to
this
talk
was
about
an
fiscal.
amateur-
Wait, hold on, please.
Amateur move.
And they would also wait.
won't work.
They would also wait for him to make some kind of pronouncement about fiscal responsibility.
Absolutely.
And listen,
There's a lot of ways to do it, but before he even announces is dumb.
No, it's not, because it don't work.
You're dismissing it. You're here dismissing it.
It doesn't work. Listen, when Harold Washington ran for mayor,
You both agree.
When Harold Washington ran for mayor of Chicago, they say he didn't pay his phone bill, didn't pay his light bill, whatever. They cut him off, and people. They said this is what we have to deal with it too. So that ain't shit.
Oh, I get that. I get that. It's relatable.
He got to run on his record. The James Craig is.
I'd rather run on James Craig record than Gretchen Whitmer's record.
But you think you know Detroit. You think you know Detroit.
I'm not talking about Detroit. I'm talking about
but he knows
Lansing.
Lansing.
I know the state of
But he
Michigan.
don't know Detroit.
Well, I know about nursing homes.
Detroit's not the whole state.
Small businesses and unemployment.
But I'm not talking about the whole
Well,
thing.
that's what the election's going to be decided on. So you talk about what you want to, but the election's going to be decided on a bunch of issues that Gretchen Whitmer has a shitty record on.
It don't matter.
It does matter.
I would vote for Gretchen, Big Gretch. Fix the shit, my governor.
Last time you were on, you said you
Fix the damn
would vote.
roads. Fix
Okay.
the roads.
Listen, I want to get to Flint, but before we get to Flint, I want you to know that Medicare is incredibly complicated. When it comes time for you to get Medicare, you're gonna have a lot of questions. Guess what these might be? Do I get to keep my doctor? Are my prescriptions covered? How do I avoid late enrollment penalties? Stuff like that. How do you know what to do? You contact MediGuide at 888. Write that down. 888-970-2940, or visit them at yourmedicareguide.com. They're licensed. You can meet in person. You can meet via Zoom. You can do an email, right? Come on, man. They'll answer everything you need to know, and you don't have to pay a dime. Don't go it alone. Let MediGuide be your Medicare guide. Check them out today, yourmedicareguide.com.
Can't ADR help with that too?
ADR's got their number. Give me an A. Okay, listen, I want to, before we get to our homage to 9/11, we got to talk about Flint. What is going on in Flint? $600 million settlement, $200 million is going to lawyers. And any adult that, wants a settlement, you're going to get a maximum of $1,000, and you got to prove that you've been injured, and they're taking pictures of your bones with mining equipment.
You know what is going on.
What?
He don't want to hear it.
He does too.
Racism.
And classism.
Right.
Flint is a third white,
Yeah, because if it was Oxford, Michigan, if it was Grand Blanc, they wouldn't be getting $1,000. They'd be getting big bucks, just like the residents of Grosse Pointe. When their basement is flooded, they can do a class action lawsuit, and they're asking for big bucks, and I'm not mad at them. But then when you go into a city like Flint and say, "Oh, these motherfuckers, we get them $1,000 and we get a lawyer
raping them
$200 million,
and they got no justice." And what was
when
necessary?
General Motors said our machinery is fucked up because of the water.
It's rusting because we're pouring the water on it.
That's fucking believable. They need to go take Rick Snyder and his people and go beat the shit
But
out of
Nesso got him on a jaywalking ticket.
Yeah, right.
Again, a failure. So look
Right.
here. Flint's broke is a joke. Murder, they got over 40 murders. The record in Flint is something like 62, 65 murders. They're going to shatter that. Remember, Flint used to be 200,000. It's probably 80,000 now.
Nah,
Yeah, that's about
50,000.
something like that. What the fuck? Okay, so they got like 80 police. Gary, which is smaller than Flint, got 160 police. Right? So we got all this COVID money. The chief of police is talking about, here's the answer to crime. Let's rent a helicopter for $300,000 for 3 months. The fuck is going on up there? Okay, $26 million of the COVID money, COVID relief money, supposed to be used for blight, supposed to be used for public safety. Whitmer's gonna put it into a public park. A state park. So where in Flint is there room for a state park? I'll tell you where it is. It's next to Kettering University.
Is that General Motors?
It's a little land bank hustle here.
Yeah.
How about $26 million for public safety? You guys ever go to Flint? You been there lately?
No.
My brother lives there. Fucking,
Why?
cause his wife's from there.
Why?
Well, I don't know about him, Flint, but we're not giving up. This is bullshit.
It is bullshit. But the bottom line is, listen, name all the attorneys that's getting a part of the 200
There's a
million.
bunch of them. There's like 20, 30 law firms on there.
Bet they're all Democrats too.
No, I don't think so.
You know what? And see where you lose your credibility at. You still talk that Republican bullshit.
Yeah, but he got a lot of
still a
credibility
Republican.
because
I'm
he had
still
the
a
nutsack
Republican.
to walk away
He ain't
from a
got
bunch
no-
of bullshit.
But he ain't walking away from it.
No, but you know what? This is like Ebony and Ivory. You two get along. I
it
got
ain't.
a feeling you're going to be working together.
No, we ain't.
Have a drink.
Who we working with? It ain't gonna be little man Tate.
I tell you who you're going to be working with.
Oh,
Call ADR.
yeah, all right.
Okay,
Shit.
listen.
Right.
That's about all we have time for, except for
For what, man?
our homage to 9/11. We here on this program know what a moment that was in American life. We have over the weeks been remembering it because I refuse to wait till like September 8th to see the retrospective and the planes run because those are my people. I was there. It was a beautiful time. It was an ugly time. It was a fun time. It was amazing. But so this is brought to you by working people, the bricklayers and allied craft workers of Local 2 who need skilled bricklayers and caulkers to help build and fix the shit in Michigan. You want to work? Inflation's going up. You want to work? You want a career? You go to the bricklayers. Fully paid health insurance. A pension that won't run out. Signing bonus. $2,000, right? Is that right, Mark?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, look, the demand for skilled trowel trades is at an all-time high. They have apprenticeships and free training for those looking to get started in a real career. Start building your future now. Go to bricklayers.org and click Join BAC.
Can I say something?
Yes, you may,
Fuck
brother.
the bricklayers.
Oh!
Whoa.
Okay, what?
Those motherfuckers, listen, institutional racism with the bricklayers. Fuck them.
Go on, tell me how.
You know what? You know it's always good old boy networks.
They just, you know what they just said?
Listen, I know what they say.
You better listen clear, bro.
Hey, listen.
You better listen clear to me. Listen clear to me now.
I'm not listening
Get a
clear.
hold of yourself.
I see some
Everybody's
black bricklayers.
welcome.
No, they
They're
not.
looking for
No,
people
they
that
not.
want to work.
No,
Stop
they
it!
Not. No, they not.
Motherfucker. I'm going to take
Fuck
you out
you.
there and beat your ass.
You ain't beating my ass.
That's because I won't want to snap you in two.
There ain't no question.
Oh,
Me
man.
and Red gonna kick your ass.
Oh, man. Go to the bricklayers. Now, okay, listen. This is called Absolute Dunleavy. This is 3 weeks after 9/11 when we're moving to Afghanistan. We're gonna hit them. Who did this? Go get him, hang him high, and get the fuck out. That's what I thought the plan was. It's 20 years later. This is Absolute Dunleavy. These days were made for a guy like Steve Dunleavy, the big-talking, big-drinking columnist for the New York Post, the unblinking defender of smokers and gun owners and cops. The bombs of righteousness are falling on Afghanistan, he said, plagiarizing his own column, and I'm here listening to my answering machine. He was sitting in his office having lunch with Tex McCrary, 91, the newspaper man who got to Tokyo before MacArthur. The men drank vodka and tonics. Dunleavy chain-smoked parliaments. The bread rolls went untouched as always. Dunleavy does not take food with his meals. Dunleavy has a desk at the Post, but his real office is just down the street at Langen's restaurant and pub at West 47th Street. The barman knows his schedule. The waitress acts as a secretary. Steve, it's the Post on line 1. Dunleavy will take the phone, Regardless of the number of drinks he's ingested, no matter how slurred his speech, he has the curious ability to pan nuggets of gold from the pond of his intellect and extemporaneously recite them to his editor. It's amazing how liberals, whom I regard as traitors in this time of crisis, quote the Constitution, one column recently read. Dunleavy is 64, the photo above his column 15 years out of date. Until last night, when he shaved his head to win a $1,000 bet to benefit a fallen firefighter, he had a silver pompadour that mocked gravity and a face that had succumbed to it. He is thin, a slight cough has set in. He wore a checkered jacket, a blue shirt, and a gold pinky ring. He has circled the globe in his career, which began 50 years ago in Australia as a copy boy at the Sydney Sun. Since then, he has gone from Hong Kong to Calcutta to Los Angeles to Bosnia. He has covered war. While he never won a Pulitzer Prize, he did write the first tell-all Elvis book. That's history. What Dunleavy wants now is permission to pack his writing foot and his flask and head off to the Middle East. But the boss, whom he is quick to compliment, has not given him the green light. Is it age, he was asked? Perhaps, Dunleavy said. More likely, he's not worth the money. I've been to wars, I've been to heavyweight fights, he told McCrary. I'm sure someone from the Post will end up in Afghanistan, but it probably won't be me. It makes you come to terms that your days are over. Look on the bright side, he was told. It's doubtful that his liver could clear customs anyway. You might have a point, mate. You might have a point. Thank you, brothers, for being here. Karen, I love you. Red, I love you. Keep the faith, try to love one another.
Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. I fell for you like a child. Oh, but the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire.